Hello, welcome back to the stream, everyone. Let me just load this up. Yeah, right, there we go. We're going. We're off. Hello, welcome. How's everyone doing? We are back for another stream. Let me just pop the background music on. There we go. There we go. Right, we're back. Save, how we doing, mate?
All right, Dave. Yeah, I'm very good, thank you.
Yeah,
all good, nice and sunny here, so I'm in a jolly mood.
Yeah, I've made the decision to take my jacket off. It's far too hot in it. It is far too hot to be wearing a jacket for streaming. So the jacket's off. It's officially summer. We're cooking. Yeah, but welcome back, everybody. Great to see you, John Brown. How we doing? And I might wear this top every day for streaming, actually, because it's kind of nice, isn't it? The orange, going with the snood, going with the Bitcoin. It's kind of like a little good feel, isn't it? So maybe our word is for streaming every day. We will see. Let me pop my screen on for everyone. Let me pop Stonksy on for everyone. And yeah, we're going. So we'll obviously dive down into some discussion. While we are obviously in the same spot, there's not going to be a huge amount to discuss. So what I thought we could do today, mate, which is, maybe quite good to do, is kind of go back the last maybe 5 to 7 years on Bitcoin and just see exactly if selling in May is profitable or provides an opportunity for the rest of the year. We can kind of see how, if you would have done the old phrase sell in May and gone away, would you have been able to get back in over the summer or at the end of summer? And then obviously would it have worked out how many times, or would it not have worked out? I think that might be a little bit of an interesting thing to do while we are still waiting for Bitcoin to make any sort of move out of this range that we're in. What do you think?
I think that sounds like a great plan, actually. I did watch Eric Crown this morning, and he was doing something where he'd sort of analysed, quite heavily what happened to Bitcoin in May over the past 14 years. And I think it
hang on. I'll be back in a sec, mate. Hang on.
All right.
Just got someone at the door.
Okay.
You take the wheel.
I'll take the wheel then. But I did want Dave to hear what I had to say. But it was basically Eric Crown. He was looking back over the past 14 years, and I think it turned out that 7 out of the 14 Mays we've had were positive and 7 were negative. So it doesn't totally apply to Bitcoin, the sell in May, go away thing. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what we can see on the charts now. I'm not sure if I got that entirely right though, because I was just looking at the. I was driving at the time, to be honest. I wasn't actually looking at anything. I was just listening to what he was saying. But there were some other statistics as well about what it did in the summer. And I think the level he was looking at was 91.7. So if we end up below 91.7, it could be bearish in May. If it's above 91.7, we'll probably be okay.
Yeah. Okay.
There you are. Did you hear any of that or not?
I heard the latter part, 91.7.
Yeah, no, it was basically just Eric Crown had done a bit of analysis, and he looked at all the Mays in the past 14 years, and apparently 7 were positive and 7 were negative. So, that doesn't necessarily apply to Bitcoin, but yeah, there is definitely a slump after May, though, generally.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's have a look at that and see what happens. But
yes.
if I open my window and I get traffic noise, tell me if it's a problem, right?
Go on.
Right. There's no traffic.
No, I was thinking about doing this as well, but
opening your window.
Yeah, while we're streaming, but I thought maybe mine would be a bit too loud. But go on, you do yours, mate, and we will see.
Well, I've done it, but there's no traffic. It's just the odd car goes past. It's quite a.
Are you in a rural area?
It's not exactly rural, but I'm on the edge of a town, so it's it's not a busy place. It's just
yeah. Do not disclose what town.
No, I won't.
Yeah, don't do that. Right. Let's go and have a look. Looking at the index. Let's go and see what Bitcoin has done over recent history. So I think what we'll do is let's clear this chart out. Okay, right. Should we go and mark on May each time? And we'll go and see what it's done. Right, so I think we could probably start with, there's not really much point, I don't think, going back pre-2017.
Nah.
So we could see, obviously, I think we know the answer to that one. But let's go mark 2018 on. 2019. Oh, I got a little bit of a card then. Not major. It wasn't major. There we go. There we go. There we go. Only a few more to do now. There we go. And then, of course, yeah, we'll have the one coming up this time. So I think without further ado, let's scale in. Now, what we want to be looking at is obviously what the price did for the month of May, but then thereafter as well, because obviously if you sell in May, probably the idea is that you'd be looking to maybe buy back in at some point before, you know, the end of summer, September, whatever. So obviously 2017 is a bit of a funny one to look at because pretty much the price just rallied for a whole year. So obviously this wouldn't have worked out. This would have actually ended really badly. You would have missed out on a potential another 10x-ish to the top. So we can give... I'll tell you what, mate, we'll break this out because you found this interesting yesterday, didn't you, with Justin's emojis?
Oh, yeah.
So we'll give... There you go. 2017, a big cross. That did not work out. Also, you know, it's worth acknowledging the difference between, you know, a May in what you would consider a bull market or bullish markets, and then a May in what may be a bear market. As you can see here, Bitcoin was, you know, at the very still early stages of the bull market when this May come around, but alternatively, the other May was kind of, you know, halfway into a bear market, and then obviously the price dropped. Why have I just gave that a cross? That would have worked out very, very well. The 2018 would have worked out superbly. So we got one cross, one tick so far.
So what are you doing that for? Is it if it generally went up a bit afterwards, or
no? So if you would have sold in May and it would have worked out.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay. Yeah,
so obviously this one, if you would have sold here, you would have missed out on pretty much the whole run up here. Where if you sold here, you know, even if you bought back at some point, you know, even if you didn't buy back at the bottom here, you know, say you would have maybe bought back, you know, 20, 30, 40% lower. If you didn't quite get, I think that was like around about, that must have been about, what retrace would that have been? Yeah, 62% retrace. So maybe you wouldn't have caught, you know, maybe you would have pulled the trigger earlier, but you would have, you know, even if you would have bought back a couple months later, you would have still got in lower than the May candle. So that worked out well. As we can see here, 2019, I'm going to mark that. I don't know what you think about this, mate, because I'm going to mark it as a potential no, because the price opened at
over
$5,000. Now, we did obviously get a pullback in, but that was, you know, a very quick COVID crash wick down into here. Really, you know, potentially if you sold in the early stages of May as well, you may not have got another chance to get back in.
Yeah, so we're going from the start of May, are we? So at the bottom of the candle.
Yeah, kind of like, obviously we don't know, off the top of my head, I don't know what this did for throughout the candle, but kind of just like, would it have worked out selling here? Unless, you know, I'd just been really, really patient for kind of like nearly a whole year and managed to catch, you know, some of the bottom candle. But even then, you know, the potential of what you would have caught, what maybe at most you would have got 20% lower. So, you know, the risk reward didn't look like it was there for selling in May 2019.
Yeah, I would say that wasn't. Yeah, I'd agree with that. It wasn't a particularly.
May 2020, again, another cross coming into, you know, the very early stages, kind of similar to 2017, the very early stages of the rise up. And that definitely would not have worked out selling in May 2020. Of course, the big pull up.
Is it worth looking at which years are halving years as well?
Yeah, we could do. So I think this halving came in 2016. I'm not exactly sure what month, but this halving came in 2016. Funnily enough, this was actually when the halving was in May 2020. I know that off the top of my head. So that was the actual month for the halving too. What do you think about this one? Now, this is an interesting one, isn't it? Because obviously we had this huge, you know, correction in Bitcoin downwards. And again, this is kind of one where I suppose it depends on what part of May you sold. If you would have sold towards the early stages, you know, you would have got out pretty close to the top and, you know, in the high 50s. if you would have sold in the later stages, then you would have pretty much been selling the bottom before the next rally. So I think potentially we maybe put a cross and a tick on this one, because if you would have sold in the early stages of May, then you potentially would have been able to buy Bitcoin for nearly half the price down here. Whereas if you sold in May later on, in the 30Ks or whatever, and you didn't buy back, then obviously you would have missed the second leg. So I suppose it depends on what angle that is. Obviously, that was a huge candle, so it's a lot different to any other ones that we've looked at so far. Do make sure you drop a like on the stream as well, please. Do make sure you drop a like. Go on, mate.
What was going on then, May 21?
So this was just, well, there was a few things that happened here. Personally, I think this was just standard correction. Just like, because if you go back to the weekly chart, Bitcoin had actually ranged for like 3 months, which if we go and have a look, I'll show you. Which clearly just looks like distribution to me. Here, you can see it just clearly just ranging along there, pretty much from like February onwards. And then here, however, I do think that this candle or one of them lined up with when Tesla obviously bought and announced it down here somewhere.
Yeah, February. Yeah.
That's when they announced that they were stopping Bitcoin payments.
Right.
And then I think there was something going on with China as well. But again, we know that news is kind of just a speed up of taking where price needs to go. So I think it was kind of, given Bitcoin structure of just distributing, in a range for several months, just looks like a standard correction. Not too much really blame to put on that. Without a doubt, this one would have worked out well. And this, is kind of reminiscent of this one back here from May 2018. If you was to sold here, yes, you would have witnessed a roughly 50% drawdown from the all-time high. But then you would have, potentially, depending on where you put your stables back in, maybe saved yourself another 50% drawdown from there. Even if you would have bought the month after, maybe if you was buying about 20K, you would have maybe still saved yourself, a good 40% correction, something like that. So, yeah, I think that one we can definitely give a tick for May 2020. Then we obviously not got many left now. May 23, I think obviously I would put definitely a cross on this. What would you, mate?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll give a cross to May 23 if you would have sold here. Bitcoin was obviously in quite a long range here, but still, a bit of patience, and then towards the end of the year and then into 2024, your patience would have been rewarded. Now, this one is actually probably more of one of the difficult ones, because obviously we opened the candle at 60K and closed it at 67. Now, in 3 months later, we did drop to a low of 49. So from, say, the candle close on this one, that's a 27% drawdown. However, I don't know. I think maybe, what do you think? Do you think this one gets a cross, a tick, or both? Because there was the opportunity to buy lower in the coming months. However, again, kind of with just a bit of patience, you would have been rewarded with the upside.
Yeah, that's a bit of you both, isn't it? I suppose, really. But yeah,
I think maybe we'll give it both. Yeah, because also as well, I suppose what we should look at is where the candle actually went up to on this one. It did go up to 71K, which was pretty close to the all-time high at the time. So if you would have happened to sell it, around 70K or so, then, maybe you would have saved yourself about a 30% correction if you was, buying back towards 50K. So I think, that gets both. Now, I suppose as a team, what we'll do is, I think what would be interesting is if we mark on a prediction for May 25, and then we'll come back. It may be at one point over the summer. So say maybe like we'll revisit it maybe once a month for the rest of the year and just take a look at, okay, we've predicted this. and then see if it actually comes off or not. So I will put it as a poll actually in the chat.
Clever. You couldn't just zoom back to the start again. I just want to look at something.
Yeah, of course.
And, so, I mean, generally, looking at the trend, like the first one was in a uptrend. Second one was in a downtrend. Third one was up. Fourth one was up. Fifth one, not sure. So, if the trend is going down, it seems to work out better, doesn't it? Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it just depends on what stage you would consider the market to be in, doesn't it? As well. But yeah, I mean, definitely you can see, you know, times of where, as we're looking back, you know, oh, okay, Bitcoin's in a bear market there. Of course, it makes sense to sell if you've still got any. But I think we'll put it in the poll. So we'll do May 2025 prediction. So get your votes in. We'll do cross or tick. So obviously a cross will be if we look back and it didn't work out in selling. Or a tick will be if we look back and it did work out selling in May. What do we think? Let us know, and I will put the marker on and we'll come back and visit it.
And we're talking about compared to what, the end of the summer sort of thing, or?
Yeah, we'll visit it maybe like every month. Maybe we'll visit the first of every month for the rest of the year. So we'll look at it, you know, at what point we are, you know, in the summer months. Is there, you know, been an opportunity to buy back if you would have sold lower? Or, you know, was it maybe not worth selling? And then obviously throughout the year end,
right?
What happens with the price? Get your votes in. We don't have that many viewers today, to be fair. Maybe it's because we're streaming at a different time. I don't know.
Yeah, they'll all be banging on the door at 1 o'clock.
Yeah. Do make sure you get your votes in, though, people. And yeah, all right, I'm gonna have to get a little bit of water. Wow, my face is sweaty. I'm gonna have to put some holes in this, I think.
All right.
Yeah.
Where your mouth is, or
yeah, I think so. Especially if it's going to continue being hot.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think? Do you think up or down? I was going to forget a drink, didn't
I think. Oh no, I've got a drink here. I'm just getting one off camera.
No,
I think. I think it will be a tick for buying back lower into the summer months, and then a cross for later on in the year, because I think we'll go next leg up.
Well, that wasn't an option on your poll, was it?
No. unless we get a 50-50 split, and then we'll put both on.
All right. Yeah, I think there might be a little bit of a dip, and then pretty much the same as the last one, I reckon. Something like that. That's what I think.
Yeah,
you know, a little bit of a dip, and then up we go. That's what I think. But the dip could take us down quite a bit.
Do you think so?
Well, I don't know. Maybe.
How low?
Oh, I don't know. 80s or something. You know.
Yeah.
That's just
60s.
No, 80s. I reckon.
50s.
Ooh, who said that?
50s. Hello, everyone in the chat, by the way. I don't think we've been through the chat. John, Gongsy, Gold Sniper, Steve-O, Dan. How are you all doing? Thank you very much for joining. Do make sure you get your vote on in the chat. For those of you that have just joined, the vote in the chat, pretty much we've just been having a look all the way back to 2017. If selling in May and walking away would have worked out for what came, throughout the summer and then the rest of the year for Bitcoin. Obviously, the crosses suggest, the crosses mean it wouldn't have worked out. No, you should have just held onto your Bitcoin. And the ticks represent if you would have sold, would you have been able to buy back at a much better price, lower? So as you can see here, 2017 was a cross because the price rallied. 2018 was a tick because you could have sold and then bought back a lot lower. Cross again for 2019, which is interesting because even though the price kind of trickled back down, this wasn't really that much of a long buying opportunity before the price come back up. So you could have comfortably held and maybe you would have took a 10-20% loss on this wild candle, but it would have been recovery quickly, of course. Then 2020, speaks for itself again. We put a cross and a tick on 2021 because obviously the candle was so big compared to the others. I suppose it depends on what time of the month you would have sold. So obviously close to the start, you would have been able to get out close to the all-time high in high 50s and potentially buy back in the low 30s. Whereas a cross, obviously, if you would have sold lower down into the month, then it would have been no good. 2022, of course, tick because the price went a lot lower. And then we've got cross on 2023 because, price, although it ranged, obviously didn't go really much lower and then went parabolic. And then tick and a cross on here, again, would have depended on what time of the month you would have sold on this candle. But potentially you would have saved yourself 20-30% downside in the coming months. Or if you simply would have just held, stomached some of the downside, then obviously you would have been rewarded with the move later on last year. And that's where we're at.
Nice.
Hello, Jay. How we doing? Great to see you. So you're getting everyone flooding in now. If you're wondering, this doesn't seem like the usual time. No, we are live an hour earlier today because I do have a dental appointment that I couldn't reschedule. So we just went live an hour earlier, but we'll still be doing the 2 hours. Apart from Save will be finishing off the last half an hour on his own on a solo journey.
Right. Can I just give a bit of a shout out to Crypto Jay there, because I think he was the guy who helped me with sorting that indicator out that I didn't have working properly, and it was brilliant. I was trying to get that mate of mine to help me with it, and I don't know. He spent like a 2 days preparing to prepare. And then meanwhile, Crypto J came along and fixed everything.
Oh, Crypto J, you legend.
So I think it was him. Yeah, if you're JJ, I think you are. But yeah, awesome viewer.
Yeah, and we got your favourite in there, Brucey Bruce. Brucey's here.
Oh yeah. Do you reckon he is Australia?
Maybe.
There's a clue in there. What else was I going to say? Wait, were you trading in 2020?
No,
you weren't. I wasn't either. Well, I was.
I bought in late 2020 is when I first bought my first crypto, but I didn't actually start knowing how to trade perps until like mid 2022, really.
Because in like January 2020, I bought a load of. I bought quite a lot of Bitcoin and spent quite a lot of money on it. And obviously the pandemic crash happened like a month or so later. And I felt really stupid, I remember my brother-in-law, who's he's like an HSBC, well, ex-HSBC banker, he's been doing it all his life. And he was saying, oh, you shouldn't buy crypto. It's all going to go to zero. They're going to turn it off. And he was coming out with all this rubbish, and I thought, oh my God, you're right, and I just spent 50 grand on Bitcoin, and it gone down to about 12 or something.
Yeah.
But what I didn't know how to do then, I didn't know how to trade. If I'd have known that now, I'd have used an exchange where you can do inverse perpetual, like Bybit or BitGet or something. And I'd have just traded it back up. I mean, imagine if I'd have done that from like 3 grand.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Even just put it in like a 2x leveraged. Excuse me.
Oh, you can't imagine, can you?
But I just had no idea. All I did was I just looked at my balance thinking, oh, that's rubbish. And then obviously it went much, much better afterwards,
Yeah.
and I was happy again. But I just didn't know how to trade. And I honestly think, I know people get scared with trading and stuff because it's risky, and it obviously is risky as well.
Yeah.
But I think it's a really cool skill to have, actually.
Yeah,
It's
it is. Yeah.
really good,
Yeah, because you potentially give yourself the freedom to make money like whenever an opportunity presents itself, doesn't
I
it?
know.
Like,
And also, if the price of an asset goes down that you've got, you don't panic. You just think, oh, okay, there's an opportunity.
yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
you
Hey, I'll
ride
tell
it.
you what, I've got a question on that. So obviously, I know you do a lot of inverse perpetuals.
Yeah.
Is it only beneficial to do inverse perpetuals on Bitcoin for longing, or is there any sort of like added bonus for doing it with shorting? Because surely, like, you wouldn't want to use Bitcoin to short it when the actual Bitcoin would lose value itself.
Yeah. The thinking behind it is if you believe the asset is going to go up in the long run, or
Yeah.
at least in a reasonably long time frame, then it makes sense to long with that. But if you believe we're in a bear market and the price of the asset is going down, it makes no sense to do that, and you're much better off trading with USDT as your asset. So at the moment, it's about 50-50 really, isn't it? Because like we don't know if it's going to slump in the summer or whatever. But I believe that sometime this year it will be over 100,000 again. So I'm quite happy trading with Bitcoin as my collateral. So yeah, I would say inverse perpetual is great for bull markets, and USDT perpetual is better for bear markets. That's what I think anyway. The problem is there isn't that many exchanges, particularly ones we can use in the UK, that do have that facility. The only ones I've got is Bybit, and with Bybit, my country of residency there is France, and my KYC is done in Palau. So there's that, and then BitGet. I did my BitGet KYC before they changed the rules on it. So that is actually KYC'd in England, but I can still use that, even though when I log on, it says you're in the UK, you're not supposed to do this, and I'll go like, no, I'm not, and it just says, yeah, all right. And I don't have to use a VPN, but I can do that. The other one, I think, I'm not sure about this, but I believe Femex did lighten their requirements about KYC. And someone told me you don't have to do KYC anymore with Femex. If so, you know about that?
Yeah, I don't think you do. I think I know that there was meant to be going like compulsory KYC,
right?
But I think I don't think they ended up doing it, or maybe backtracked on it. I don't know.
I mean, it'd be a weird move, and I've never known that happen. But the other thing you can do with Femex, you can when I did it, you can definitely use a Palau ID
right
for Femex, because I can use that as well in the UK, like without a VPN,
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. But we have. So got Crypto J saying, "Oh, good morning, CD." That's one of your viewers, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, he's in. Sorry, I'm eating tofu again. Excuse me. CD, yeah, he's in Texas. I think he's Texas, somewhere like that, long way away. So it's probably about like 3 o'clock in the morning for him. So hello, CD. Brilliant. Glad you made it.
CD boy.
Yeah, bot has entered along. Yeah, I saw that a few minutes ago. Let's hope it does all right. I think it will actually, but let's see. So did you just ask? Oh, hang on. CD Cherry Tree says Hotcoin can do inverse perpetuals. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that's Hotcoin is a weird exchange though. It's really strange. I think it's Australian actually, but yeah, you can do all sorts of things with that with no KYC as well. It was one I was playing with, and then I sort of lost interest in it just because it's weird.
Yeah, CD Cherry Tree. I love that name. But yeah, Crypto J saying the bots entered the long, so maybe we could go and take a look at that. Steve O says, Dave, can you smell that? That's the smell of money printing. I did just try to pull up the M2 supply as well, but I don't know how to do it on TradingView where you like kind of sync both of them. I'll have a look. To like where one scale doesn't move when you move another. Hotcoin. Oh, right, okay, that's what you were talking about, wasn't it? But yeah, the M2 money supply is going up, which suggests, obviously, I think the M2 is, if I'm wrong, someone correct me, but M2 is like the actual printing of money, but it's not gone into circulation yet. That's M1. So even though M2's going up and money is being printed, it's not actually gone into circulation yet. That's only represented by M1, I think. Maybe we could ask Grok. Let's see.
I suppose the M25 it's in circulation, but it's going very slowly.
Yeah, clever. Let's see. Difference between M1 and M2 money supply.
I must admit, I've heard lots of people talking about this, and I've actually paid no attention to it whatsoever. I absolutely don't know, so I'm looking forward to finding out.
What's this? So M1 includes the most liquid forms of money. M2 encompasses everything M1 plus less liquid assets. Okay, well, I don't know if that was true what I said then. M2 includes M1 plus savings deposits totaling around 20 to 22 trillion. M1 might include currency. Okay, no, so I think it's the other way around. M2 is the better figure, isn't it? I don't know. That seems to be like what Grok said anyway. If anyone's got an actual precise understanding of it, let us know. I probably should, to be fair, but this is something I don't really like the idea of just kind of watching the M2 and just assuming that Bitcoin's going to go up because it has done previously. We've always seen Bitcoin do things that it's never done before or break certain patterns and stuff like that. But yeah without a doubt, I think the single most important thing is, potentially getting the stock market back on track for all-time highs. I mean, this thing, if we just come and take a look at this for a second, mate, that is the wildest monthly candle I think we've ever seen on the SPX, dating back to where this one goes to anyway. This only goes back to 2008. But obviously, even the COVID one, I mean, that is, this one is way, way crazier, I think, because of the long lower wick on it. Like, that is absolutely wild, and it does actually have the potential to close green if it has a good day today. It's not that far away. It's only about 50 points, 55 points from closing green. And just look at the wick on it when you zoom out compared to like previously. I mean, this one looks pretty nuts, but that one's like completely eclipsed it. So yeah, even with all the turmoil in April, it does have the ability to even close green potentially today, showing huge absorption. I mean, what are we up from the lows now? About 10%? No more, over 15% from the low. So that's crazy move on the S&P 500 right there.
That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's really mostly down to the tariff news, isn't it? I suppose.
So the tariff news was obviously the main driving catalyst for it to go down. And then, yeah, I mean, the absorption is debatable, but yeah, I mean, without a doubt, that's a crazy candle. But I mean, the Bitcoin is looking like potentially it's. I think I don't know about you, mate. So should we go and have? Oh, actually, what did the Oh, so 11 people have voted to put a cross on the May 2025 prediction.
Wow.
While we've had a few people come in, let's just cover it one more time, and then we will get the vote on it. So at the start of the stream, we went back to 2017 and we looked at if it would have been worthwhile or would have worked out selling in May and walking away. Now, whether that be, for the rest of the year or, if you would have had a better opportunity later on in summer to buy back for a rally at the end of the year or whatever. So obviously the cross represents no, it wouldn't have been wise to sell. The tick represents yes. If you would have sold, then you would have saved yourself drawdown and been able to buy back lower. The ones with ticks and crosses are basically because it would have depended largely on where you sold in that month. So obviously this one, if you would have sold at the start of the month, then yeah, it would have worked out great. If you would have sold towards the end of the month, no, because maybe it wouldn't have bought back before the second run. And then obviously on this one, if you would have sold towards the all-time high, yeah, then you would have saved potentially 20-30% drawdown and bought back. But also a cross, because if you would have just held, then you would have not had to wait too much longer to get the rewards for holding. So yeah, let us know. Get your vote in. Shall we put a cross or a tick? Do you think it's going to work out selling in May and walking away, whether that be buyback lower down into the summer months or September, whatever, or maybe for the whole year? Or do you think no, you should just hold and then carry on throughout the rest of the year? So we'll get our consensus on from stream. We'll put the icon on, and then we'll come back and visit it on the 1st of every month up until the end of the year and see if we was right or not. But at the moment, we got 12 votes in, 75% of people. Do make sure as well. Oh, have I not got my camera on? I have, haven't I? Oh, no, yeah. I have. Do make sure as well you drop a like. We've got 21 people watching on YouTube and 10 likes. So do take a second to go and like the stream, please. It is very much appreciated. 13 votes. I think the result of this is going to be a cross, isn't it? Oh, wow, it's coming down a little bit. It's coming down a little bit. 14. We'll give it a minute. But, so CD Cherry Tree says, what I heard was that the M2 going up was mainly due to a spike in India's data. Speculation was that may have been an error in data. OM trigger was pulled yesterday evening. Mother F's. We'll go and take a look at OM, mate. We'll go and take a look at OM. So let's get this onto the chart anyway. So we'll close that out. 64%. So we're going to put a cross on it. So everyone thinks, no, we should not sell in May and walk away. We should stick with it. Right. Would you be all right getting the bot up, mate, and showing the bot for 10-15 minutes? I just need to nip to the toilet.
Yeah, just give me...
Yeah, no rush. No rush. We'll take a look at OM quickly. Reggie boy, let's go and take a look at OM. 49 cents. Oh, look at that. That is the wildest monthly chart I've ever seen. I think, actually, to be honest, no, Luna's was worse. I mean, in terms of scale, actually, oh yeah, it was well worse. Let's go and see what happened to OM overnight. What happened? Oh dear. Oh wow, it went all the way down to 45 cents. Now, is that potentially just it's liquidated everything apart from the actual low itself? So it's liquidated that low. Yeah, I'm interested, I must say. Is he speaking today, or has he already spoke?
Who?
Mr. Mullen, JP Mullen. Wasn't liquidated, but dumped 8 cents in 5-minute candles. It keeps doing that, doesn't it? It's wild the way it moves. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, mate, I'm just gonna have to run a toilet because I'm pretty desperate. So you can turn mine off and put yours on anyway, can't you?
Yeah. Did I do that?
Yeah, you've done it. Yeah, I'll be back in literally like 5 minutes.
5 minutes. You're Going large, are you?
I'm going for number 2.
Right, that was definitely too much information there. Right, okay, cool. Right, so the bot went long. Let me just shut the window. Hang on a second. That's better. Bit of traffic noise out there. Okay, so the bot went long. So let's have a look at that. So all traders, my copies. So the bot went. Oh, hang on. I think they've changed this a little bit, haven't they? Now you need to go. Did they change it? I'm not sure really. Okay, so we're currently 0.32% up. So entry price, yeah, they have changed this, haven't they? Because that used to have to slide it across to see everything. Okay, well that's actually better anyway. So, oh, did they put? No, they still haven't put the partial close thing in there. Okay. Right. So yeah, so the entry price was 94964. Well, that's okay. I think I would agree with that. Now, what I've been doing here, let's just look at the history, because it hasn't been so good, has it? This one closed on, when was that? That was yesterday. But bear in mind, I'm using 10x leverage, so all these are like long 10x and short 10x. So the one yesterday closed with for me, with a $8 loss. This was a really horrible one on Sunday or Monday. I can't remember. Monday, with a $47 loss. That was quite nasty. This one was even worse. This was the weekend, I think, $76 down. So it's not been looking good this week. So hopefully we'll see this close in a more positive way. Now, what I've been doing, that my regular viewers will know about, is I've been plotting the results on this chart here. So these are the amounts. I started off with 250 USDT on the 2nd of April, and then we've come up to here, and we're currently on that figure I put in this morning, 329.88, and unfortunately it was up to 485 on the 26th of April, and I was really hopeful that by today, which actually today is 4 weeks exactly since I set the bot up. So 4 weeks ago was 2nd of April, which was the tariff day, wasn't it? So we were up to 485, and unfortunately we're down to 320 something at the moment. Now, what I've also done here, I keep saying this every time, but I'll repeat it for anyone who's new here. But this column here, what I've done is use this formula here, which compounds 1% every day, because what I'm hoping the bot can achieve is 1% a day, and we can compound it. And if we can do that, it will turn into quite a nice sum of money. So although this red line here looks straight, it's actually not. It's the first part of a exponential curve. So what I want to see is this blue line following this red, or whatever color it is, orange, I think, this orange line here. And although we were nicely up here, we come back to here, so we are still okay. It's gone up quite a lot if you think about it. It'll come from 250 to 336. Not sure what that is percentage wise, but I think it's it's a reasonable amount. And if it carries on like that, then next month it will be a lot more. Now this brings me to my next decision, which is, do I increase the size of this bot? And I think I will, but I'm going to wait until the 2nd of May, because by the 2nd of May it will have done a full calendar month, and I'm hoping by then it will be on track. And to be on track, the actual balance only needs to be up to 336 or 337 pretty much. And so If it gets there, then I might increase this and use a larger amount, something like $1,000 or so. That's my plan there. But yeah, the bot performance was brilliant last week. This week has been a really, not so good. It's not got off to a good start. But as I say, we are still on track. So, it's okay. Anyway, let's have a look at the comments. Dude, OM trigger was, oh God, yeah, the OM thing was horrible, wasn't it? Oh, Reggie, man. Oh, you're the guy with the really high entry. Oh no. Okay. Right. Okay. All right. So, yeah, if anyone is using the bot, then what I would say is, you've really got to look at what it's done over a reasonable period of time, and in the first week, for example, first week here, the performance wasn't very good at all, and then it got better. The third week was really good, and at the moment we're having a little bit of a pullback, which is not so good. But hopefully this next trade will work out. And like I've always said, if you see a reasonable profit there, you can always just close the trade. So yeah, you can do that. It is worth mentioning as well that if you look at this on the actual app, then you have got a lot more flexibility about what you can do. You can do things like partially close a trade, and also you can set partial stop losses and partial take profits as well. But at the moment, you can't do that on the web app. You're back, Dave. You see Mr. Brown?
Oh. Yeah, I'm all clear now, mate. Oh, that felt good. What are you talking about?
Hey, what? Nothing.
You?
Nothing.
What are you talking about? Hey, I heard something about partial take profit and partial stop loss.
No, I was just saying, because they've actually changed the. We've changed this a little bit on the.
Oh,
web.
that looks so much better, doesn't it?
Well, you don't have to do all that scrolling from side to side anymore.
Yeah. I think they've been watching our stream, haven't they?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think they have, because they haven't put all the bits and bobs in there. The partial stuff. That's what it needs now, because, like I was saying, on the phone app, it's got all like partial stuff you can do there, but but not here. So they've not totally been watching our stream.
But that is a lot better. That is a much better layout, isn't it?
Yeah, and if you look at the history, it's all
that is so clean.
And you can see the dates here of when you lost all your money.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's been put through the ringer with this. I mean, this Bitcoin chop has been pretty brutal, to be honest.
Well, yeah, but what I was saying while you were dropping your oil was, overall this chart I've got here. This is the 1% compounding line. It's back there, but like it's doing all right. Overall, it's doing okay. So if it carries on like that, it's going to do great, and it's only going to get better, isn't it? Because I think it will get improved over time. So it's all good. What I actually did with my my low frequency bot, don't know if you remember I said, but I had $483 in there, and what I decided to do was to wait until Dean had finished his new strategy. So what I did, I took the money out of there, and I thought I'd just trade with it manually, and that's not bad. I've literally been doing your kind of 5-minute sort of strategy idea.
Yeah.
You see the 5-minute, and then you see the 5-minute on Stonksy go green, and then when you see the little arrow confirmation, I've been going long, and I've got that from 483 up to 702 in what's that, 5 days?
Very nice, mate. Very nice. Yeah, you're ahead of the curve again.
Yeah, so I thought I'd put these results in this tab here called manual trade while I'm waiting for the low frequency bot to be done. And I think my idea is I'll get this up to a nice figure, and then hopefully what I can do is when the low frequency bot is ready, I can either bung it back in there or maybe split it across both bots and let them have a race and see who does best, really. Overall, little bit of a disappointing start to the week with the bot. I know some people were disappointed in the Discord, but overall, like I'm saying, overall the trend is still up. So
absolutely, yeah.
If you hadn't have had them great big gains last week and it had just been plodding along here, you'd have been quite happy, wouldn't you? It's just what's that thing? It's something like when you've got like two kids and you sort of like, if you like, if you've got like 2 bars of chocolate and you sort of like, if you don't give them any chocolate, they just carry on as normal. But if you give them both a bar of chocolate, then take one away from one of the kids, he'll start crying.
Yeah. What you're saying is at the moment is that you're crying.
Well, I'm not crying. I just feel like I've been given a chocolate bar and then someone's taken it away.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's all right.
Give it you back.
Well, I didn't have
it you back soon. Yeah. What bar of chocolate?
What bar of chocolate? I don't know. Not a real chocolatey person, really.
No. I only really like dark chocolate.
I'll tell you what I got up for today's stream. It might make you laugh.
Go on.
Oh, hang on.
Bitcoin is getting its little pump on now. I think it's looking like is today the day we finally cleared these highs. I mean, 95.4k has been like a brick wall, hasn't it? It's been like an actual brick wall, 95.4k. Pretty horrendous.
Hang on, I'll get my chart up.
But is today the day that we cleared them? I mean, if we do, that should give a real good squeeze.
Anyway, I thought I'd show you. Look, today's sponsor.
Oh yeah, there we go. There's the tofu.
That's the stuff I was talking about in Aldi. This organic smoked one is brilliant. I'm not so much into the sweet chili one, but this organic smoked one, it's brilliant. It's about 80p as well, so it's amazing. Yeah. Anyway.
And what about the sweet chili one?
It's all right. It's all right. It's a bit sweet though, so I don't really like sweet things really.
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't mean to do that. Well, I did actually, but hang on.
That's very nice. Saving Crypto loves is tofu. Obsessed with your tofu, aren't you?
I am. Shall I put my chart up?
If you want, mate. Yeah. So what's this? CD Cherry Tree has said, I've been having a hard time getting an entry with this sideways price action. I've been using VWAP and other for potential. Yeah, it's difficult, mate. Then it's really difficult. But do make sure you drop a like on the stream and do subscribe if you are new. Dan says, curious what SWC and Dave think about the 5% stop loss and 20% take profit strat from Discord versus letting the bot run. Yeah, I mean, I think it's not a bad idea. It's definitely not a bad idea. I mean, if you want to, have some boundaries on it for, obviously closing in losses, but also, just taking profit and running with it. I think, it's difficult. I suppose it depends on what your outlook is, innit? If your outlook is, I'm just going to let the bot do its thing, then, you could just let it run more, and then just, if the trade's going well, or, you could just decide to close some manually or whatever. I think you can definitely have a lot of success with something like that for sure. In theory, you limit your losses a lot more, don't you, than and then potentially up your profits a lot more if it goes there. But I mean, there's always the potential in it for, maybe getting stopped out and then the trade turns around, or, taking 20% off the table and then it carries on, whatever. So yeah, I think if you're not available to do too much manual watching of it, then maybe it is a good strategy to use, because then obviously, if you haven't got the time to watch it manually, say, you see it's up 30% in profit and you decide to close it or close most of it, against, maybe never really being able to look at it. So there are definitely good strategies for that. But what do you think, mate?
Right. So let me get this right. So that chart and stuff in the Discord, that was done by James, wasn't it?
Yeah, Baldy McGinge.
That's it. Yeah. So I got that wrong the other day. Yeah. So what James had done was looked at the trades that his bot had taken so far, and he'd worked out whatever that was, take profit, stop loss, would work better than no take profit or stop loss. The only thing I think about that is, in fact, he said so himself. He said that it would miss out on the big moves. So, because the take profit was, what was it again? 6%, was it?
I can't remember.
20%. 20%. Oh, I think, it was including the leverage there or something. But whatever it was, anyway. But what it meant was, if you do get like one of those really big moves, it might miss out on it totally. And I just got a feeling that it's the big moves that are going to, make it redeem itself. Like if we get one this week, then it could easily, pump us right back into like, really nice profit again. So what I'm saying is that, from what he's analysed so far, if you're just going to, pretty much like you said, if you're just going to leave the bot running, then that might be a reasonable thing to do. Obviously test it yourself and, decide what you think. Me personally, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to let the bot do its thing. And that's partly because I don't want to confuse the results too much in stuff I'm plotting that I'm showing on the stream, and also because I don't know, because I believe, although the strategy might not be changing much on a daily basis, I believe the actual stuff in Stonksy, the actual what makes Stonksy work, that is continuously being tweaked and updated. Do you know if that's true, Dave, or not?
What's that?
Well, you're not listening, are you?
Yeah, I was just checking. I was just looking at something on my screen.
You just got your headphones on. Listen to some.
Go on.
No, I think I remember Jordan saying the other day. I think it was in one of the.
Hey, take a look.
Sorry about that. It was in one of the CSE.
Who have you got there with you then?
Oh, it's Miss Trading View.
Oh, right. Yeah, is that what you call her?
Yeah. And so Jordan was saying that the actual Stonksy algorithm, or whatever it's called, is getting tweaked all the time, sort of thing. So that might be changing, which might be changing the way the bot works. So I'd be a little bit wary myself about saying, well, it always does this and does that, because the actual strategy might be changing without us knowing. So for that reason, I'm just letting it do its own thing. That said, I would say that if at any point you see it in like a really nice profit, and it might be news driven, or it might be something like a Sunday night or a Monday morning, one of those times where when you see quite a bit of volatility. If you see the bot in a nice bit of profit, close it, and that way, that profit's locked in, and it'll be there ready for when it opens the next time. And I have done that a few times, and there has been a couple of times when I've just thought, I'm not sure about that. I think it's done it wrong, and I've actually closed the bot because I didn't agree with it. And what I found is about half the time I've been right, half the time I've been wrong. So I think I'm going to try and stop doing that. But like I say, if I do see a news-driven event that's making it look really good, at that point, if I was trading manually, I think, oh yeah, I'll probably close that now. Then I will do the same with the bot. So yeah, that's my thoughts about it. Anyway, have you actually got a bot running, Dave?
Yeah. Yeah, I've always had one running in the background. It's just on my actual personal account, which I don't kind of want to load up on stream. So I've been meaning to just set one up on one of my side accounts.
Okay. Do you know how it's doing over time? Because obviously you've been in there from the very, very start, haven't you?
I could go and have a look. Yeah.
Well, don't you don't have to. But...
I think it's obviously from the 1 hour one. It took a little bit of a loss from when we just had the 1 hour strategy on.
Right.
But I think obviously since the high frequency one's gone on, it's done quite decently. Obviously, apart from the last couple of trades, I am in a profit on it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Good.
Yeah, I am in a profit on it. Which is good.
Okay. Well, that little lady saying whatever she said was that was an alert. If I click that, it will show it. Oh no, that's one of my alerts, isn't it? But yeah. Sorry, my chart's just going to confuse everyone, aren't they? So I should just probably stop.
No, feel free, mate. Feel free. I mean, I think if we manage to really start squeezing up to 98, 95.4 and start really squeezing a bit higher, then it's going to really apply pressure to these shorts, because that is kind of looking like the line in the sand for, squeezing higher or remaining in this tight little range that we're in. We really do need to start breaking above 95.4, but it is being defended quite well. So until that happens, then, we're kind of bound by that. But I think it would squeeze pretty aggressively if we started getting above there. I mean, there is a lot of pressure building above now with just how many... It's just like resilient, isn't it? Every time it goes down, it's just getting ate back up. And, the amount of liquidity above these wicks now that you'll be able to see on the chart, it would just provide the fuel for one real aggressive burst up, I think, towards... I think it probably goes to 98 to 100, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, there's... for people who draw triangles, that would be...
Little ascending triangle.
I think what they're called now, is it? So that would...
An ascending triangle.
Yeah, make it white. That's not white.
Come on, make it white. Yeah, there we go.
And
yeah.
So yeah, that.
Yeah, get it up there. Yeah, there we go. There's your ascending triangle. Yep. So yeah, just kind of a break above that level, and it's really off to the races. Then I think for another squeeze up.
Yeah. Actually, that bottom line valid? I suppose if that went to there. Oh yeah. Well, sort of. Yeah, it's all right. For your information, the only other YouTuber that I really like outside our current circle is Eric Crown, and he doesn't believe in patterns at all, apart from this one, which he said normally works out,
Yeah.
So if that was a pennant thing, that'd have a flagpole like that, wouldn't it? This is like MM Crypto or
MM Crypto.
Or like Carl the Moon. Today for the Bitcoin price.
Yeah, I don't really like them pattern suggestions, me. I don't mind looking at a pattern, looking at that ascending triangle. Yeah, you can see a point of where the price is going to come into compression against, rising diagonal support, and then obviously horizontal resistance, but I think it's much better to have then for a breakout levels, horizontal levels of where price may go, as opposed to looking at a bloody pole stick for where maybe price will go.
Yeah,
in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, I don't. I really like these EMAs. So I'm mad about these things.
You love it, don't you?
I do love it. Yeah,
you can't get enough of it.
Yeah. If you want to know how to set these up, just go to savewithcrypto.org. It's .org and not .com, right?
Yeah.
Go to Save with Crypto, and on the homepage, I've actually put a video about how to set these up. And so the red is a 5 EMA, cyan is a 9 EMA, yellow is a 21 EMA, and the green is a 55 EMA. And when the yellow and green cross, it's normally quite a good sign, you know. And that happened. That happened a few Saturdays ago, and that's how I got into me big trades actually from there.
Yeah.
And that's been just brilliant ever since. You know, they're all nice and far apart. I mean, ideally, what you need is pretty much like they are now. So it goes red, cyan, yellow, green. In order. Ideally, they'd be spread out a bit more evenly, a bit like they were back here, you know. But you know, that kind of just means we're in a pretty good trend upwards, and that's the 4-hour time frame, which is like really, really good. And I noticed that even on the daily, you know, we actually crossed bullish there. On when was that? Friday the 25th. That was last Friday, wasn't it? You know, we crossed bullish there. I mean, which is brilliant. So that's like massively in motion there, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know if the 3 days. Look, even the 3-day is like, you know, bullish, and like that hasn't happened since then, which was like last September, which was before. Well, we didn't know who the president was going to be back then, did we? You know?
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you do look at it, don't you? And the thing is, it's not really that far away from getting towards that point of kind of last resistance. Like you look on the chart there, you've got two, in my opinion, we've got 2 points of key resistance, which is one, that kind of settlement below 100k,
right?
Where price found resistance last time, and then obviously that point of where the daily closes were around the all-time high wicks, and that's kind of it until, you know, you start then rocketing towards 120, 130, 140, 150 potentially.
Yeah, I suppose if we go even further out, that's the weekly. That crossed bullish in June 2023.
Yeah.
So you know, so I don't know. It looks good to me, you know.
Yeah, it looks nice.
I think there's definitely more upside. Have people actually stopped saying that's the end of the bull run now, or have they started again?
What?
Well, you know, about a couple of weeks ago, everyone was saying that's it, top's in. You know, it's started the bear market now. And,
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what kind of. I kind of try and avoid that kind of overreaction sentiment type of stuff, but I imagine maybe we're gonna. I think if we start getting towards 100, I think we start getting some real FOMO kicking in, which is either a good thing or a bad thing, because anywhere around 100, I think I'd be looking to take a conservative short now. I was kind of looking at like 96, 97, 98, but I've got a feeling maybe it just extends a little bit higher than people think.
Yeah.
Which then, you know, is kind of my hedge against the market then, because I think that would mark a good point for maybe a correction to start. But who knows? I mean, it all just depends. If, you know, if demand is there in the market, then it could just keep blasting, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Nothing to say that it can't.
Yeah.
But what we want is we want it to start breaking upwards now, because that will make a lovely, lovely Stonksy bot trade.
Well, yeah.
And mark its revenge.
Didn't mean to do that.
Against this stupid range. And of course, if you do want to get access to that, you can get 20% off your first month of Stonksy with code BOT20. Second link in the description, and then just pop the code in at checkout, and you'll get access to the indicated Discord server and, of course, the trading bots. So do take advantage of that. It'd be great to see you in the Discord. But yeah, you can see it just, looking at them wicks, even on the 5-minute chart there, you can still see it. Obviously, on the hourly, it goes up to like 95.4, but there is some real kind of resistance from sellers in this region. But if it can break through there, then the squeeze should be juicy. I mean, if we take a look, you leave your screen on, mate, but I'll just swap over to mine quickly.
Okay.
I'll just take a quick look at the heat map. Let me just give it a refresh.
I was just going to suggest that you did that. You do it.
Was you? Yeah.
Well, you do it about that time of day, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, you can see here, obviously, juicy amount of build up around 96, 96.5. If we go to the 3-day, again, obviously, same story. But you can see that just on the chart anyway. This constant tapping of this area and then obviously selling off. There is bound to be big liquidity build up there, because obviously that is where, shorts are entering and kind of defending that price. But this is where obviously we'd really start pressuring them, and that might really cause a cascade to the upside. It's just, if you look, since we come into here, any kind of push up into here has been met with strong resistance and rejection. It's just whether the price has got that strength in to push through. I'm Roby says, I hope I'm wrong, but I still have a feeling we're going to dump. I think we are due a correction. I do agree with you. We are definitely due a correction, but I think if we was going to correct, I don't think we will keep eating up these dips, is my opinion. Which, I have been kind of looking for reasons to feel like, okay, well, we probably should be due a correction, but kind of the way that it's just keeps getting bought up on any dips is my sign to kind of, even if it ends up correcting, I'm just kind of stepping out the way of it for now, until the price shows weakness, because it's only really shown strength so far. The way it keeps getting bought up on dips is a sign of strength, and with the build up of wicks above, it just is like a recipe for it to blow through at some point potentially. So although I do agree with you, especially if it does leg up again, if it legs up towards late 90s, maybe even 100, then potentially, yeah, we are looking at okay, at some point what goes up must come down a bit. Jason says, can you add to your position on BLOFIN after the bot has already been activated? No, you can't, mate. No. Once the position is open, it's open then. You can't add to it unless obviously you choose to open one manually alongside the bot. But in terms of the bot actual trade, no, you can't add to it.
What you can do, you can add to the margin so that next time it opens, it will use more of your capital. You can do that, and also add into the margin will also, decrease your possibility of getting liquidated, which is unlikely unless you've got silly leverage.
Yeah.
That's it. So CD's saying, I've been having a hard time getting entry with this. Oh, hang on. I've been using the VWAP indicator that you like, but using the outer bands. Yeah. Shall I show you that? So that's let me just get rid of I'll lose Stonksy for the moment. Yeah, what CD's on about is this indicator here. It's called VWAP Standard Deviation Bands version 2 mod. I think it's by someone called the Yang Wheezy or whatever. And what that does, that puts these kind of lines of resistance up here and these lines of support down here. The funny thing about this, though, if you zoom out, you'll see that it resets at midnight. I'm not sure if that's midnight UTC or however you've got it set. Hang on. That's actually, it resets. Yeah, so for me, it reset at 1 a.m. So that is midnight UTC is when it resets. But then during the day, you know, depending on what it's doing, it kind of like, you know, it will bash these bands apart a little bit. I've found it, you know, a pretty good strategy generally. As if you're looking for longs, just look for them down here.
Yeah.
If you're looking for shorts, look for them up there. But you know, the problem is sometimes if the price is really lively and it's like it is at the moment, you know, it has the possibility of just going crazy up there. In which case, these bands will kind of follow it up, you know. But I do sometimes, you know, I mean, you know, for example, like, you know, when the market's open today in an hour and a bit, you know, it seems unlikely that the price will come down here, but you know, it has done some fairly spectacular dumps over the last few weeks on open, hasn't it, on New York Open? So, you know, if you were going to set a long, it probably wouldn't be the daftest place ever to put it at like 94,140, something like that. I don't know, possibly. And, you know, you might get a wick down there and off you go. Anyway, so that's the VWAP thing he's talking about. That's another indicator that I don't use all the time, but, you know, sometimes I use it if I want to get, I don't know, I want a bit of confirmation. If I think, you know, oh, like here, I think, oh, is this a good opportunity to go long? And I'll put the VWAP on. And I'm thinking, well, it's okay, but I'd prefer it if it was down here, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, like it was, say, back here at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was obviously asleep. But I suppose more like last night when we were down here, you know, that kind of area there. So yeah, it's not the most useful indicator in the world, but I do like to have it as part of my arsenal, if you like.
Yeah, I suppose it's kind of similar to using the Bollinger Bands, I suppose, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I don't really use Bollinger Bands very much, but yeah, it's a similar idea. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a few things that I've, you know, I dip in and out of. You know, there's one called a Hull Suite as well that I know my mate Mr. Delta's into, and that's pretty cool as well. Hang on, I have to get rid of that one. It's Hull Suite. Hull Suite by In Silico. And it's done nothing. Hang on. Oh no, because it. Why can't I see it? Oh no, there it is. Right, I'll zoom in a bit. Let's go to like the 5 minute. Right. So what that does, it just shows you, you know, how the trend's going, sort of thing. So, you know, I quite like this on the 5 minute. So when you start to see it going a little bit thin and then it goes red, you know, that implies you're going to have a bit of a dump, you know. So here was a good one, you know. When it went red there, if you'd thought, oh, okay, that's going to have a dump now. I mean, that was a beautiful dump, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And then it went green, and then up we went. The only thing with this, it does lag a bit though. So you see, like when it went green there.
Yeah, I've seen something like this before, but it wasn't called this. It was called something else.
Yeah. So that went green. You'd have been about there. So you'd have missed the bottom. But you know, up you'd have gone until here. I mean, that's a pretty cool indicator as well. And that's quite nice on the 1 hour as well. In fact, the 1 hour, yeah, look at that. You can just start to see a little bit of green appearing there. So even though we've got like quite a big red candle there, you know, if that stays green and does what it does, then you know, we could see some more upside. It doesn't always work out. Like here, for example, you know, it only went green for a little while, but it did coincide with that pump there. But it is lagging. So it's lagging like by about an hour on the 1 hour time frame. So it does kind of shows you what just happened, right, rather than what's going to happen. So, but that's quite a cool indicator there. I like that. Yeah, so that's nice. Right, anyway, it's 26 minutes past. Have you got to go to the dentist?
Yeah, I've got my Uber coming in 4 minutes, so I'll shoot off in like 2 minutes or so.
All right. When do you want me to go on till?
Just go on until the 2 hour mark.
Okay.
Yeah, just go on until the 2 hour mark or just after. And then, yeah, that's fine. Normal length for the stream then, innit?
Okay. So that will be 2 o'clock. Unless we get 100 likes on the stream. And I'll start.
How many likes are we on? Let's see.
16.
18?
Oh, 18. Okay.
18. Do make sure as well, if you haven't already, do take a second to go and like the stream. Please do drop a like on it and subscribe if you're new. If you happen to be new, do subscribe. But of course, yeah, do click the links in the description. Sign up to BLOFIN, get your non-KYC account, some nice welcome bonuses, and obviously it's where we recommend for you to trade. And of course, yeah, you can get that offer on Stonksy still, 20% off. Get access to the indicator Discord and the trading bots on BLOFIN. That is still running, and you can find that in the Discord, in the description as well. But yeah, see what's Stonksy showing on the 5 minute.
Oh yeah, sorry, I should stop showing these other indicators.
Yeah, these are ones that aren't as good as Stonksy and don't offer what we do. This 5 minute chop has been horrendous, though, hasn't it? It's been really bad. This chop on Bitcoin. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of this chop. The sooner that it's resolved, the better. So hopefully we get the breakout today. But yeah, I'll have to shoot off, mate. So thank you for finishing off.
No worries.
And big thank you to everyone joining. Obviously, Save is going to be on for the next half hour or so. I'll catch you all tomorrow on stream. Obviously, I'll still be in the Discord and stuff. But yeah, ciao for now from me, and I'll leave you in Save's very capable hands.
All right. Good luck at the dentist.
See you later, mate. Bye.
See ya. Right. Now he's gone. What should we talk about? Oh, hang on, Jason. Don't go. I'm still here. He's saying thanks, guys. All right. Okay, so we're having a little bit of a dump there. Let's see what we can find out. You know, I keep wondering if I should have the light background on TradingView like Dave does. I'm really more of a dark black person myself, though. But I don't know. Let me know what you think, or let me know what you use and if you have a preference. But I kind of like the dark mode myself. So here we are. Anyway, so Stonksy 5 minutes green, but we haven't got that confirmation, you see. So you know, I wouldn't be giving that too much weight at the moment. If anyone has been following the stuff I'm doing, particularly on my channel, I've been also looking at this indicator here, this one called quad rotation stochastic. This is one that somebody showed me and then it disappeared from TradingView. So I had the code, I fiddled with it a little bit. Crypto J, if he's still here, he helped me fix a few things. Well, in fact, he just fixed a few things that weren't working properly on it, and we got it working. Probably the easiest way to show you it working is if I just take a few things away. That I'll explain that a bit better in a moment. Yeah, let's just let me just show you the settings. So if I remove the actual stochastic lines, okay, then we can see all the bits that aren't that. So basically what it does, it looks at 4 different stochastic oscillators, and it looks for convergences when they're all either showing a very oversold condition or a very overbought condition. So if I double click this, you can see here that this line here is like the 80% line. The dotted line there is a 90% line. And And then down here, you've got a 20% line there and a 10% line there. And what it does is where you've got these straight lines, it's actually showing bullish divergence. And where it's got the red lines up there, it's showing bearish divergence. And then you've also got these like green crosses that appear from time to time. And then you've got red crosses down here. Now, I'll explain those in a moment. And then the other thing you see occasionally, but more on the lower time frames, is these little red arrows like that, and then a green arrow like that. Okay, so let's put all the bits back, and I can show you what's going on. So let's put the stochastics line in, stochastic lines back in. Now, what I've generally been doing is looking on the 1 minute and the 3 minute time frames. I've actually got a layout set up for that. Okay, maybe I can make that a little bit bigger. And I did notice this morning that somebody in the Discord was saying they found this quite useful to use in conjunction with Stonksy. So at the moment, you get these green, it looks like a very faint line, but it's actually a green background. That means the asset is in if it's green, it's in a over, to get this right around, it's in an over sold condition, and red is overbought. So at the moment, what I'm looking for is all these stochastics to get down into this bottom like 20 or 10% area here, and I'm also looking for it doing it as well on the 3 minute. And if I see all of them go down there, I'll then look for a similar kind of thing on the 12 minute time frame. And if they're all down there, then I'll decide to go long maybe. Which I might even do live on stream if you like, but I can do that. Anyway, that is actually the wrong oscillator. That shouldn't be that one. Let's actually just remove that, because that was the one, that was the personal one I was working on. But if you go to the indicators on TradingView and you look for quad rotation, you'll see in the community scripts quad rotation stochastic. Grab that. There it is. Let's do it for this one as well. And I'd get it sooner rather than later, because TradingView have had a problem. Well, not a problem. I've had a problem with TradingView, whereas I've tried to publish stuff and they don't like it, and they hide it so you can't see it anymore. But yeah, so far this one's good. It's been published for about 4 or 5 days and there's been no problem so far. So it's called the quad rotation stochastic. So I'm looking for all these down here, which they are on the 1 minute, so that's good. So this one here, put Stonksy on as well. Okay, so Stonksy still red there on the 3 minute, also on the 1 minute. So the prices are coming down. So I wouldn't do anything just yet, because we want to see those come down a bit further. Okay. Now let me have a look at the comments. Right. I am Robbie. What makes you think we're going to dump? I mean, I'm not saying you're not right, but I'm just wondering what you're thinking. I'd love to know what's making you think that, or do you just feel it in your water? But yeah. Jason, can you add to? Oh, we've done that. Yeah, dips have definitely been eaten up. Yeah, certainly have. Okay, right. There's nothing in the chat. Has everyone gone? I hope they haven't. Anyway. So I keep thinking it's 2:30, but it's not. It's 1:30, isn't it? Because we started early. So at the moment, yeah, I'd be looking for those, and then I'll just show you the 12 minute. Let me just get my other tab ready. 12 minute. Okay. So then on the 12-minute, even though we're getting this like, you know, big old dump here, it's quite big actually, isn't it? I still wouldn't go long just yet because this green stochastic here is still way up here. I'd want to see that much further down, a bit like it did here. So it came down here and the green came down there, and then we also saw this green line here showing the bullish divergence. Okay, so that's that one there. I'm just going to get my BLOFIN account ready actually. This is the BLOFIN account where I'm trading manually. Because if this does come down quite a lot, then I might try and do a little long. So I'm going to go to futures. And I'm going to set a I'm going to put an order somewhere down there just for the moment, 93916, which I will adjust, right? Somewhere like that. I'm going to use about half the cash. Okay. 93916. Okay. Actually, I probably should have done that on this support line here, 93682. So let's do that. Let's go down to 93, something like that. Okay. Because if that comes down there, I do want to catch that wick as it comes down. Okay, let's go back to this one. Right, now you see here that little green arrow just started to appear there, which means the price could be going up. And now this one here, these stochastics are down here quite nicely. Yeah, okay. So my idea is what I'm going to be doing generally is looking at Stonksy on the 1 hour time frame, and I'm going to be looking for if Bitcoin is in a bearish or bullish kind of phase, if you like. And at the moment, if we go to the 1 hour, I believe when Stonksy loads, right, so we're still, even though we've got that red candle there, we are still green on the 1 hour on Stonksy. So I'm still bullish. Okay, so I'm going to try and catch a wick like that. That's the plan. Let me just have a look. All right, John Brown, we're still here. Great. Okay, I'm glad you're here. Okay, CD's still here for a bit longer. Excellent. It's probably time to go back to sleep, isn't it, soon, CD? I am Robbie. I just think too many people are bullish on 100K. Yeah, I don't think it's going to shoot up there straight away. I'm expecting a few pullbacks on the way. I am expecting some, I don't know, well, we'll see how it goes. We'll see what happens, but, you know, I think it'll probably go to 100K, pull back a little bit, go a bit higher, you know, maybe like staircase up, but, you know, who never knows? Who knows, really? I am Robert. The market never pumps when everybody wants it to. That is true. I'm just wondering, actually, if I go to BLOFIN and here, okay, the funding rate. But the funding rate here is 0.0085%. When it's normal, it's 0.01. So it's slightly less than normal. That means there are still quite a lot of people trying to short. Okay. And that price is coming down, isn't it? Let's go back here. All right. So if I see anything like a green on the 1 minute on Stonksy, I might go for it. And let me just check that 12 minute. I think now I've got a lot of tabs with a lot of charts on there. They're sort of loading a bit slowly. Okay. I wonder what's causing this dump. If anyone knows, let me know. It's probably some sort of news, isn't it? Right, so that green arrow there, that green arrow happens on various for various reasons. No, it doesn't. The green arrow happens when I think it's when 3 stochastics are below, or 2 stochastics are below the 10% level on that oscillator there. So, you know, it's looking like that could be getting near a bottom. I'm not sure. Let's wait a bit longer. So I am Robbie. I also think Bitcoin has some bearish divergence as well. Okay. It depends what time frame you're on. What time frame you're looking at. I also see that ETH is in a bark pattern, it looks like. Let's take a quick look at ETH. Oops, that's not it. So ETH. Okay. So do you mean a bar as in it's going to come back down here? So that's your bar. Is that what you mean? Okay, Lee Scully, how is your account looking now on BLOFIN? Oh, you mean the bot one? The bot one is at 3.2 something. Oh, hang on. Look, the problem is with that, I've got it on my Safari browser. This is on my Chrome. It's a bit awkward to swap over easily. I'm gonna have to sort out a better way to do that. Let me just have a look on my phone. So I was at 329. It's probably even worse now, isn't it? No, it's still at 329. That's weird. No, it's not. So my bot account is 311 from the initial 250. That's not good. Is it still in a trade? I copy. It's still in the trade. Still in the trade. And it's $17 down, minus 5%. Okay. Well, I'm hoping this will bounce, and I'm hoping the bot will stay in the trade. What I don't want the bot to do is just close it, which it has been doing recently. You know, it's been getting itself in a bit of a state and then closing. I am Robbie on the 1 hour. Okay. Andy is going to pump. Okay. Why do you think that, Andy? I actually agree with you, but why do you think that? Anyway, let's go back to Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean, you could say the Bitcoin's in a bark pattern as well, and it could just, you know, come down here just like that. It's going to do one or the other, isn't it? You know, it's a 50-50 kind of thing, isn't it? So that is no longer green on the 1 hour. Oh no, it is. Is it? No, it is. Yeah, sorry, it is. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it is still green on the 1 hour. Okay, that's all right. Nothing to panic about there. Let's go back to my double chart. Right. So look here. They've all been down there. I've got a green arrow there, and I've just started to get a little bit of green background here. I am actually going to go back to my BLOFIN account, and I can't believe I'm doing this on stream, but I am actually just going to ape into a position there. Okay, so that's filled. I'm going to remove this order for the time being, and I am in position now. Okay, so I'm long at 94,384. So share that tab instead. Damn. So let's just go to the BLOFIN chart. There it is. Right, I'm just going to put a horizontal red there. I'm going to put 94,384. Today's date. 30. Let's move that across a little bit. Okay, right. So that's where I'm long from. Is that a good idea? I don't know. Let's look at that on the 12-minute. I think probably I was slightly premature there. But so far, pretty much at break even at the moment. Okay, right, cool. Oh, Andy, liquidation heat map. Yeah, okay, yeah, good. Okay. Lee, selling May walk away. Were you here at the start, Lee? I'm not sure if you were actually. I don't think you were, but might be worth looking back at the start of the stream when we're finished and having a look what Dave did. It was quite good actually. He went back, marking every May that we've had so far, and deciding if it was a good idea to sort of go away and all that in May for each May we've had so far, and it's pretty much half and half. And what seemed to be the situation, that the sell in May, go away, whatever it was, seems to work when you're already in a downtrend. And at the moment, I don't think we are. I think we're in an uptrend. So I don't know. My thinking is that it might not apply so much this year on the whole, although I'm quite happy to see a bit of a slump in the summer, which is something that normally happens anyway. Okay, so let's go back to this double chart. Okay, so what I really want to see now, I really want to see some green on this 1 minute Stonksy here. Let's just make these a little bit smaller. Okay, so we're starting to get a couple of green candles. Now, of course, we are 40 minutes away from the New York Open, so anything could happen in the next half hour, and anything could happen at 2:30 as well. So there is that as well. Someone said drop a like, so I assume that's Dave sitting there in the dentist waiting room, waiting to get his dentist appointment. So that's cool. I know, sorry, that was ages ago. Right, so I'm looking at the wrong part of the chat. Okay, right, now there you go. That's Stonksy on the 1 minute has gone green, and you can see also here that these stochastics here have started to go up. What I've done with these, I've coloured them the same as I do my EMAs. So the fastest moving one is the red one. The next fastest is the cyan one. Next fastest is the yellow one, and then the green one is the slowest. So it's usually like the red one that leads the way for the others to go, and then hopefully they follow. So at the moment, that's looking good there on the 1 minute. Stonksy is showing green, which is great. On the 3 minute, not got green on Stonksy yet, but we are seeing this stochastic start to turn up there. That's okay. Mr. Delta, how you doing, mate? Where have you been? Lee saying, if BTC hits 94,140, my stop loss will hit on my Stonksy bot. 94,140. Okay. Was that your minus whatever it was? Let me have a look. Was that 5% stop loss, was it? Okay. So, Mr. Delta, if you're driving at the moment, you shouldn't be driving and trading. So I hope you're not. I hope you're just listening. If you're listening, it probably sounds like I'm doing nothing here, but I'm actually just watching the chart. And Stonksy's just gone green on the 1 minute, and it's still red on the 3 minute. And my quad rotation thing is looking all right. I've not seen any of those crosses though, like you do sometimes when you see really good reversals. But yeah. All right. So Lee is saying minus 5% stop loss P&L. So that includes your leverage, doesn't it? So is that right, Lee? I need to look at the Discord and look at that properly. But yeah, that's probably a reasonable thing to do, though, isn't it? With the bot. I know in some of the testing, I know what they've been doing was they've been trying out setting the stop loss at minus 1%, and that did improve things a lot. Now I don't know if that's actually included in part of the strategy now or not. I am hoping to get hold of Dean at some point and have a little chat about what is built into Stonksy and what isn't. I mean, I'm guessing the fact that they've it's been back tested with loads of data is whatever it does is what's best. But obviously that can always be tweaked on it. So, we'll see what happens. All right. So this is looking okay. So the red is about to cross that yellow. That's always good. You see, when these EMAs cross over, it's always a good sign, isn't it? At the moment, you've got like red, cyan, yellow, green. What I really want to see is them swap around so it's the other way around, green, yellow, cyan, red. So the question is, did I catch a bottom? Let's have a look at my trade, see how it's doing. Not looking bad so far, is it? So that's $13 in profit, 4%. It is 20x leverage actually, so it's quite high. But that looks okay. So none of this is financial advice, but I'm quite curious to see if anybody tried to do a similar trade when I did then. And to be honest, what I could do with this is I could just close that now at like 3% or 4% or something, and just say, oh, that's it, done. And then just look for another opportunity. But I want to see what's going to happen at 2:30. So what I did say was if I get 50 likes before 2 o'clock, I'll carry on till 2:30, but I don't think that's going to happen, is it, unfortunately? But if you haven't liked the video already, please do give it a like. It's up to 27 now. It's not bad. That's not bad. I'm happy with that. And yeah, that's brilliant. So I don't have access to the actual poll thing with the Stonksy indicator channel because I don't have access to the YouTube thing. I have access to the StreamYard software that works the YouTube thing, so I can't do a poll. But I'd be interested to know if you think the New York Open is going to be good or bad. So why don't we put a what should we have? Should we have a put a U for up or a D for down, for whatever you think. I'll begin by doing, I think it will be up. There you go. And I'd love to know what the rest of you think. And okay, up, says Jason. That's great. Okay. Yeah, I think so too. I wonder how that whole suite thing I looked at earlier is looking. So I was looking at it on the 1 hour, wasn't I? And it's here. Oh. Well, that's actually still red. That's maybe it wasn't the 1 hour I looked at. Well, was I looking right back here? Maybe I was. No, that was Monday. I can't remember what time frame I was looking at now. Maybe it was just a 5 minute. No, I can't remember now. Anyway, right. So we're going to up. Mr. Delta's up as well. That's good. Hope you're not driving. Steely Cherry Tree. I've joined for kicks and giggles. Blue and red quads are descending but have not turned up. Which time frame are you on, CD? Is that the 12 minute? Yeah, blue and red. Yep. Okay. I'm quite chuffed with this because this is the account that I was going to use for the low frequency bot, and this was at 482 on Saturday when I did my solo stream, and I've now done a few trades and got that up to 710. So that's doing really well. You can see my, I don't know. So it's actually been quite good, really. Yeah, I've had 13%, 12%, 5%. That one was a 0.05% loss. 4%, 0.34%, and Saturday would have been, can't remember now, 20 something. Yeah, so they've all been pretty nice gains actually. Yeah, not massive gains, but I've been literally doing this kind of thing. I've been looking at these the quad rotation things and the Stonksy on the 1 minute and the 3 minute, and just doing little scalps like that, just making small amounts. And I've even been putting the stop loss into profit like really early. If I see like a 5% gain, I've been thinking, okay, well that'll do, and I've put the stop loss there, and if it closes, no worries, just look for the next one. But at the moment, as it's nearly 2 o'clock, then I think it's worth hanging on half an hour for the New York Open, and we'll see what happens. Okay, CD, you're using the 15 minute. Let's take a look. Oops, hang on. Let's take a look at the 15 minute. Yeah, it's a good point actually. Yeah, so yeah, 15 minute does look like they're all still heading down. So yeah, it's a little bit scary. So maybe I was a little bit premature with that trade. And indeed, Stonksy has gone red. Okay, so it might not have been the best trade in the world, but I'm going to leave it for the moment. And unfortunately, it's probably time that I should leave the rest of you. So at this point in time, I just want to say, please do use all the links in the description for BLOFIN and Stonksy. The code there is, was it SW? No. I think SWC10 still works if you want the annual plan, or you can use BOT20 to get 20% off your first month with Stonksy Indicator. The BLOFIN account is the one you need to use if you want to use the bot, because you have to get it whitelisted with that account there. So please go and do that. If you want any any links to do with me, they're all on savethecrypto.org. It's .org, not .com. And I've got the exchanges that I use here that you'll get like massive bonuses with. And I've got a few other ways you can contact me, like by Twitter and Telegram. So that's me, Saver Crypto. I'm going to finish with the outro, and I'm going to see you all tomorrow. Mr. Delta, bye, dude. He says, bye yourself. Let me go back to my thingy, and I'm just going to say thank you very much for coming. Do click like on the way out, and above all, tell your friends.
I'm Stonksy. I'm Stonksy.